What is the spiritual dream meaning of killing someone? What kind of woman carries a loaded pistol and tells the very people she's trying to save that she'll shoot them dead if they turn back? Well, Harriet Tubman, that's who, and believe me, she wasn't bluffing. See, born into slavery, Harriet's childhood was just savage violence. When she was just 13, an overseer threw a 2-pound lead weight at someone else. It missed, and it smashed right into Harriet's head. That blow fractured her skull. It changed her brain permanently. And for the rest of her life, she had these sudden, uncontrollable blackouts. Now, everyone else looked at that and saw a curse. But Harriet, she knew it was God speaking to her. And in those blackouts, she would get these incredibly vivid prophetic dreams, visions of paths through the darkness that nobody else could see. So when she was 27, she decided to follow them. She escaped slavery, all alone, on foot. Her only compass, the North Star, and those dreams. And you know what? She made it. She got to freedom. Now, she could have stopped right there, but she didn't. No, she went back 13 times and led over 70 enslaved people to freedom. And get this, she never lost a single one. Not one. So how did she do it? Well, here's how. On every single one of those missions, she carried a loaded pistol. And she had one rule, one absolute, non-negotiable rule that everyone understood. If your fear gets the best of you, if you even think about turning back, I will kill you myself. Look, she wasn't there to offer comfort. She was offering a choice, a hard line drawn in the dirt between two different kinds of death. You had option one, the small death. That means killing your panic, killing your fear, killing that part of you that wants to run back to the prison you know. Or you had option two, the literal death, the one that comes when you completely surrender to that fear. Think about it. Every single person who made it out with her had to kill something inside themselves just to survive. Harriet, with her visions, understood this brutal truth. Sometimes the most loving, the most liberating thing you can possibly do is force someone to kill the very thing that is killing them. Okay, so now let's talk about your dream. Yeah, that one. The one that left you feeling horrified, wondering, what is wrong with me? But what if there's nothing wrong with you at all? What if your subconscious is doing exactly what Harriet did? What if this dream isn't a sign that you're broken, but a sign that it's just time? What if the person you killed in that dream wasn't really a person at all? What if it was a version of yourself you've been too damn afraid to let go of? What if your own mind is pointing a gun right at your deepest fear and saying, we're done, this ends tonight? So let's be perfectly clear about this. This dream, it is not your shame, it is your signal. And that signal is trying to tell you something really important. Dreams about killing are almost never, ever literal, right? So from a Jungian perspective, it's all symbolic. What you're really witnessing is the necessary death of an old self, or the severing of a relationship you've outgrown, or maybe the end of some suffocating pattern that's been holding you back. Cognitive psychology has a name for this too. They call it a cognitive intrusion. Basically, it's your brain forcing you, literally forcing you to look at some high-stakes emotional conflict that you have been avoiding. It's an internal emergency alarm, and it's demanding that you deal with it right now. So why can't you just ignore this dream? Well, there are 3 really big reasons. First, your mind speaks in metaphor, not murder. It can't just send you a polite email saying, hey, maybe stop accepting less than you deserve. No, it has to show you a death, something visceral you can't ignore. Second, if you ignore the signal, it just gets louder. That dream becomes a recurring nightmare. Why? Because your unconscious is not patient. And third, this is a relational dream. It's about your relationship with a person, with a job, maybe even with a belief you hold about yourself that simply has to die. And all of this brings you right back to the very same choice Harriet Tubman gave her people. You can turn back, you can go back to the familiar prison of your old story, or you can walk forward and finally kill what has been killing you. A traumatic brain injury gave Harriet the dreams that saved 70 lives. Your brain, your perfectly healthy brain, is giving you a dream that is trying to save one life, yours. Are you going to listen to it?
Let's get one thing straight. The dream of killing someone isn't some generic message. It morphs, it personalizes itself to your specific wound, and each version of it holds life-altering information that, frankly, you cannot afford to ignore. So we're going to break this all down into 5 parts. Let's dive right in. All right, first up, let's talk about those dreams where the person you're killing is in some way you. This is your psyche making a desperate call to integrate the parts of yourself you've been forced to bury. That stranger you see in your dream, that stranger is the real you, the part of you that's been silenced. By killing them, your psyche is demanding that you bring her back. It's begging you to stop silencing her before she's gone for good. So what do? It's immediate. Get out a journal and ask yourself, what parts of me have I been taught to hide? And we need to be absolutely crystal clear on this. Dreaming of killing yourself is not, I repeat, not a suicide dream. A suicide dream comes from despair. Dreaming that you are killing yourself, that's one of the most powerful symbols of voluntary transformation. It's an initiation, it's a rebirth dream, just wearing death's clothes. And what if you dream of killing a child? Look, that child is almost always your inner child. It means you are finally leaving behind a wound that has been running your adult life for far too long. This is not a tragedy, it's overdue. Your only job is to find a picture of your younger self and tell her, I'm taking it from here. Okay, so let's shift gears. What happens when this symbolism pops up in your relationships? When you're dreaming of killing the people who represent the roles you've learned to play? Killing a family member, especially your mother, yeah, that's deeply unsettling. But listen to me, this is rarely about the person, it's about the role they represent. In a dream, a mother is typically your inner critic, that voice that judges your worth. Killing her is an act of psychological self-liberation. It's your psyche demanding that some damaging, inherited belief about love must finally die. And if it's your partner you kill in your dream, do not panic. This is almost always a signal for the end of a relational pattern. The version of you that shrinks, that performs, that accepts less than she deserves, she is the one who needs to die. This dream is a smoke alarm, pointing to an unspoken truth. Ask yourself, what have I never been able to say to them?
Next up, these dreams reveal the primal truths you've been forced to suppress. We're talking about your instincts and your rage.
If you kill an animal in a dream, you're killing a core instinct. That animal is your primal truth. It means you've been civilized out of something essential. Your survival drive, your sexual energy, your creative force, and your dream is grieving that loss.
So what about killing someone who actually hurts you in real life? This is the rage dream, and here the violence isn't the problem. The real problem is the wound underneath it that was never witnessed, never honored. This dream is one of the only safe containers your psyche has for its completely legitimate fury.
Now, if you dream you were forced to kill someone, that is an emergency alarm going off. It means someone or something in your waking life is coercing you into a role that violates your core self. Resentment is eating you alive, and this dream is the proof.
The way the dream feels, and whether it repeats, tells you everything about its urgency. Because your psyche, it is done whispering.
If you felt nothing, or even relief after killing someone in your dream, do not feel ashamed. The absence of guilt signals absolute certainty from your psyche that this ending is correct. The mourning period is over. This is not coldness, it is profound clarity. The relief you feel is your nervous system finally releasing a burden it has carried for years.
And if the dream is recurring, it's not malfunctioning. It means you are ignoring it. Plain and simple. Something in your life needs to end, and you have not ended it. Every single recurrence is an escalation. This is not a whisper anymore. This is a scream.
So what's the bottom line here? When you strip it all away, every one of these dream variations carries the exact same, non-negotiable truth. And this isn't a passive observation from your subconscious. It is a directive. It's a command from your psyche that something must end for something new to live.
And it leaves you with 2 paths, and only 2. You can honor the dream, face what it's pointing to, and act. That is the path to breakthrough. Or you can dismiss it, ignore it, and continue to suffer. And that is the path to breakdown.
The women who honor this dream experience breakthrough. The women who dismiss it experience breakdown. There is no middle ground here. You get to choose which it will be.
Part 3. Look, you've interpreted the dream, now what? You act.
Okay, so you had the dream. You figured it out. But listen, just understanding what your subconscious is screaming at you, that's not enough, not even close. You have to move.
Think about it. Harriet Tubman didn't just sit around and receive visions, she moved. She didn't journal about freedom, she ran toward it. In the dark, every single night. You've got to move too. And we're starting right now. Here's how.
Okay, let's get into it. The morning after protocol. If you literally just woke up from this dream, listen up. The first 30 minutes of your day are absolutely critical. Before you even think about touching your phone, before you make coffee, grab a pen and paper. Okay, now you're going to write down the answers to these 3 questions. And this is the most important part. Do not filter yourself. Don't analyze it, don't judge it, don't try to make it make sense. Just get the raw, messy data down on paper before your logical brain wakes up and starts editing the story. That message is fighting to get through, and you've got maybe 7 minutes before your phone swallows it whole.
All right, now for those of you who aren't fresh from the dream, you already know what needs to end, but you're just stuck, paralyzed. I get it. Grab a piece of paper and draw a line straight down the middle. This is about to be your moment of radical, brutal honesty. On the left side, you're going to list everything that staying is costing you right now. I mean, your health, your sanity, your sense of who you even are. Get specific. Now, on the right side, write down everything you're afraid leaving will cost you, all your fears. Okay, now, look at that left column. Really look at it. That's the poison you've been drinking every single day. Now look at the right. Be honest. How many of those fears are actually guaranteed to happen? And how many are just stories? This little exercise, it's going to give you more clarity in 20 minutes than you've gotten in years of spinning your wheels.
Okay, if you're a writer, if you figure things out by putting pen to paper, then this next one is for you. It's a powerful technique, actually adapted from clinical therapy, and it's all about accessing a part of yourself that you've pushed away, a part you've disowned.
So, what if the thing you killed could write back? Here's what you do. You're going to write a letter to yourself, but it's from the person or the habit or the identity that you killed in your dream. Just let it speak. What has it been trying to tell you all this time? What does it desperately need you to know? I'm telling you, this is the fastest way to get to the heart of what you've been suppressing. And hey, if grief shows up, let it. That just proves that what you're letting go of mattered.
You know, sometimes words just don't cut it. This dream, it carries an electrical charge, right? You can feel it in your body. That tight jaw, those heavy shoulders, that is raw, unresolved emotion stored in your tissues. In somatic work, which is all about the body, we know that this energy has to be moved. It has to go somewhere.
So find a private space, put on some music with a heavy, driving bass line, no words, and for just 10 minutes, you're going to let your body say everything your mouth has been too polite to. Shake, punch a pillow, stomp your feet, push against a wall with all your might. Let it be loud, let it be ugly, I don't care. This is not about drama. This is physiological necessity. You are literally completing the stress cycle that the dream cracked open.
Okay, let's talk about relationships. Because if your dream was about a specific person, you know exactly who it is, don't you? Their face has been flashing in your mind since the moment you woke up. Now, this isn't about picking a fight. It's about finding your truth.
I want you to identify the one single load-bearing truth that you have never, ever said out loud to them. The one thing that, if you said it, would change everything. Now, you don't have to say it today, but you damn well have to know what it is.
And this is exactly why that one truth matters so much. Listen to me. Relationships don't die from big, messy fights. They die from relational suffocation. That slow, silent pressure of all the truths that are left unspoken. The dream is forcing you to hear it. The next step, it's going to demand that you speak it.
So what if your dream wasn't about a person? What if it was about an identity, a role you've been playing, the good girl, the peacemaker, a belief you've outgrown? Well, an ending that big deserves a ceremony. Just deciding it in your head, it's not going to be enough.
So take a piece of paper and write it all down. Write about who you've been. Be fair. Acknowledge what that identity did for you, what it protected you from. But then, you have to be honest about what it cost you.
And then you burn it. Fire is powerful. It transmutes things. It changes them from one state to another. This makes the ending real. In a way, a quiet decision just can't. Or you can bury it. Return that old energy to the earth. You could even release the ashes into moving water. Look, this isn't some woo-woo superstition. It's a ritual. It's a physical act that sends a powerful signal to your brain that this change is real. It's done. Look, we need to be serious for a second. Sometimes these dreams, They point to a wound that is just too deep to heal on your own. If this dream is bringing up real trauma, abuse, profound grief, you cannot just journal your way out of that.
And I need you to really hear this. Getting professional help is not weakness. It is the single most intelligent and powerful thing you can do for yourself. This dream is a fire alarm. You do not hit the snooze button on a fire alarm. So find a therapist this week, not someday, because that unresolved issue, it has weight and it's dragging you down.
And finally, you need to understand this. This kind of transformation, it can be a really lonely road if you try to walk it all by yourself. But here's the thing, you don't have to, you really shouldn't.
Let's go back to Harriet. She didn't do it alone. She built a network. She had allies who got it, who understood the stakes. You need that too. You need to find your people, whether that's a women's circle, a therapy group, or just one trusted friend. Find someone who will champion your becoming, not someone who's comfortable with you staying small.
So remember this, your dream is not a confession of some dark desire. No, it is a message from the part of you that has finally completely run out of patience. The part of you that knows deep in your bones that you are built for so much more than just surviving. She is Harriet now, gun in hand, and she's standing at the crossroads.
And she's telling you, this ends tonight. Something is dying. That's not up for debate. The only question left is, what are you going to let die? So you better make damn sure it's the thing that's been killing your spirit and not the part of you that's finally trying to save your life.